Hello. Well, I hope you're ready to start playing some beautiful music and start building up your repertoire, because that's what we'll be doing in this tape. There's a number of really wonderful pieces that we'll be going through. But before I do that, I'd like to just consolidate everything that we've done in the last 3 tapes. As you're aware, we started out the first tape talking about the right hand, working with the right hand. Then the next 2 tapes, we were working with the left hand primarily, while still doing further development in the right hand. It's important that you don't give any emphasis in your practice just to one hand and ignore the other. The tendency is to concentrate on the left hand and ignore the right hand. We somehow feel that because the left hand's producing the pitches, or we think it's producing the pitches, but really all it's doing is shortening the string length, and it's the right hand that's really producing the music, although 90% of the time most people feel that it's the left hand somehow that's doing it. They're equally important, and in fact probably you should give a little more emphasis to the right hand, because the right hand has a more complicated job in a lot of ways. Let's just talk about some of the concepts that we discussed. First of all, the idea of being relaxed and being comfortable. If you're not relaxed and you're not comfortable, you're not going to enjoy playing the guitar. And even if you're playing the most beautiful piece in the world, if you have a pain in the back, it's not going to be much fun. So, again, take note of your position, how you're sitting. Make sure you're not leaning over too much, leaning sideways, twisting your body. Just sit up straight, edge of the chair, very relaxed. Both arms again, you could start out with them hanging, as we said, and then bring them up. Pay particular attention to the shoulders. They tend to, as you know, tense up a lot. The right arm then, placed on the guitar, it's relaxed, the hand's relaxed. You might want to shake it a bit, get it loose, and then put it into position, as you've been taught. The left arm, again, start from a relaxed position, let it hang. Feel the weight, feel the arm being relaxed. Then bend it and bring it up. Again, watch the angle of the guitar. If it's too high, some people get into the habit of using a very high footstool and playing something like this, in which case then you're reaching up, you're holding that arm up while you're playing, and this arm's very quickly going to be tired out. Same way, if it's too low, if it's too flat, the arm tends to get pulled in a bit. So again, just bend the arm, place the guitar in there. It's important that you pay particular attention as to how you place your left-hand fingers. Remember that we use the tips, especially when we're playing chords. As you've probably found out, it's very hard to get a clear chord, in fact impossible, if your fingers aren't playing on the tips. Pay particular attention to the placement of the left hand. That is parallel to the neck. The knuckles are parallel to the neck, not like that. Also, that the hand doesn't creep up too much. Again, just the fingers and thumb in contact with the neck. And watch this thumb, that it's flat. It's not on its tip. Flat like that. It's important when you're playing to split your mind a bit. As I was saying, most people have a tendency to concentrate either on the left hand, primarily on the left hand, although concentrating on the right hand also could cause problems. When you're practicing in your practice sessions, practice individually. I've written out the arpeggios, for instance, using only open strings, so that your entire focus is on the right hand. You're not doing anything with the left hand. However, when you're playing a piece, try to be equally aware of both hands. You may be giving a certain amount of attention to the left hand, perhaps the right hand, depending on where the difficulties lie. But in the back of your mind, be aware of the other hand. It's almost as if you're looking in 2 directions the same time. You can see the left hand, you can see the right hand. And even if you're looking at the left hand, still be aware of what you're doing. That's why it's important to memorize the right hand fingerings. It's very obvious when you don't memorize the left hand fingerings, the problems that we get into. But with the right hand fingering, it's a little easier to fake it. However, it does lead to problems. So when there's right hand fingerings indicated, learn them exactly as they're written and memorize them the same way you'd memorize left hand fingering. Because if you don't, each time you do it, you'll probably play it slightly different. Sometimes this finger, sometimes that finger. And if you're doing it different every time, you're really never going to learn it that well. It's always going to have a slight feeling of sort of faking it. You feel like you're sitting on the edge of the chair. You don't know if you're really going to get it. Do it exactly the same time. Each time, you'll find that very soon that solidifies into a good habit, and the hands take care of themselves. Then we can go on and express ourselves. Rather than being so worried about the technique, we can go on then and bring out the expressive possibilities in each piece.